In 1916, popular band leader James Europe, driven by a desire to serve his community and his country, volunteered for a newly formed Black National Guard regiment in Harlem, New York. He was eventually commissioned a lieutenant, at the time a significant accomplishment for an African American. To aid in recruitment and morale, Europe formed what many considered to be the best band in the U.S. Army, playing a novel style of music the newspapers were calling jazz. During World War I, Europe's regiment, dubbed the Hellfighters, distinguished themselves on the battlefield. And Europe was the first African American to lead troops in battle during that war. His band was credited with introducing jazz to European audiences. They entertained thousands of civilians and soldiers during the war, boosting both morale and international cooperation. American Patriot, James Reese Europe.
In 1950, against doctors' orders and paying all expenses himself, Al Jolson traveled to Korea to perform for American service members. He had been known as the world's greatest entertainer for over 40 years. Jolson had also dedicated much of his life to serving his country. He sold Liberty bonds and performed for troops stateside during World War I. And as part of the first USO tours, he entertained troops from base camps to the front lines during World War II. But it was the strenuous Korea schedule, 42 concerts in 7 days, that finally took its toll. Shortly after returning home, Jolson passed away. For his untiring efforts to entertain American troops, Jolson posthumously received the Congressional Medal of Merit. American Patriot, Al Jolson.
At the onset of World War II, Academy Award-winning director Frank Capra put his successful motion picture career on hold to join the Army. Tasked by General George Marshall to explain to troops the reasons for America's involvement in the war, Capra produced a series of 7 films. Entitled Why We Fight, they featured excerpts of enemy-produced films to illustrate the actions of the Axis powers.
For this is what we are fighting. Freedom's oldest enemy, the passion of the few to rule the many.
The films, seen by millions of service members, built morale and fostered cooperation with our allies. For these and other military documentaries produced during the war, General Marshall personally awarded Capra the Distinguished Service Medal. American Patriot, Frank Capra.